We already got speakers coming in hot and heavy. We got Goolsby already hitting the wire. We had some earnings before the bell, more after the bell. But Eddie, what do we have on the docket for the day?
Well, we've got the docket. Goolsby speaking, as you mentioned. Musalem coming up here. He should be speaking here very soon. Waller, right after Musalem. 8:45 coming up here. We got our big numbers here. Service PMI, Flash, Manufacturing PMI. Basen's going to be talking at 9 o'clock. And Jack mentioned this might be something that we really need to watch here. Thank you, Jack. And coming up at 9 o'clock, new home sales change. 9:30 EIA crude. And we do have also coming up at 12 o'clock, 5-year note. And 12 coming up at 1 o'clock here, we do have the beige book. And once again, Musalem's going to be talking here this afternoon. That's what I got. Eyes on the prize back, you guys.
Oh, man, Eddie, go catch your breath, man. We got a lot on the day coming into you hot. Let's take a look at this Nasdaq, 18,991, just printed new highs there. Let's go get those 19,000s. There we go, 19,004.
Yeah.
We sell this thing.
Definitely keep a close eye on 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Oh, yeah. Jack, we're talking about in the green room. 9 o'clock. We got about top of the hour. Why? Why do you have your eye on that? We got numbers before that, but 9 o'clock's really got your attention. What's going on?
Well, it's just been comments so far, kind of, it seems off the cuff. This is a scheduled speech by Besant, probably to lay out, hopefully in a little more detail, exactly what has sort of changed as the way they're approaching the tariffs. That could really move markets. I have a news story to show at some point. I think it's back there. Do I have the one that says appropriately titled Besant? This is just an observation.
Yeah, you want it now? We got it.
Yeah, let's do it now, because it's before he talks.
James Harden back. Dow making new highs here. 40,231. Let me know when you're ready, Jack. There it is. What to say?
From Neil Duda, interesting observation. Since the beginning of March, the S&P has shed a total of 719 points on days when Lutnick and Navarro have been the biggest story. By contrast, Besant has been the bigger story of the day. The S&P has been up a total of 52. Besant tends to be the bearer of better news lately, too.
Interesting.
So that's why I'm looking at 9 o'clock.
Good stuff, Jack.
Especially if he comes out and says something specific.
Besant Bull. Besant Bull. All right, I'm going to grade that in my head. Besant Bull. All right, Hogue, 5 minutes into this, take a look at opening range in the equities. I see some selling now. What are your thoughts on that opening range? If we were to take that opening range trade, what would it have been and how would it have been looking right now?
Well, it'd be in the money in the S&Ps. Right now, the Nasdaq and the S&Ps have the opening range at the low, and it opened in the overnight range and is attempting to accept above the overnight high. Overnight high in the S&P is 54.5675, right at the point of control, the volume point of control from today.
75. Okay.
So I'm really kind of watching this opening range and watching the overnight high. If we can't hold the overnight high, I don't think the opening range is going to hold.
Okay, interesting. All right, then you heard Hogue talk about weekly kickoff low, weekly kickoff high in the gold. I said, what the heck's he talking about? Where do I find those weekly kickoff levels? Well, into the top of the chat. Top Step daily levels. We update those before every New York Open, Sunday through, I guess Monday through Friday. But yes, click on that. Then I'll have a little real estate on the screen for that. But if you don't have the real estate on the screen, hey, you want better. Click on that indicators tab. Top of TopStepX. Top Step daily levels. Boom. Overlaid right on your charts. Well, we saw some selling there, Jay, at 19. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that 19,000. Nice rejection there.
Who took the short up there? 19,000.
Nice trade. I'm locked out of Nasdaq. I can't trade Nasdaq on this account, but I like that trade.
Symbol blocker. I like it.
Yep.
Another great
Looked
feature.
above the overnight high and gave it back.
Sure did. How weird. Down about 80 points off those 19,000s. Last trade, 18,920. Also, we forgot a number here in about 8 minutes, so let's get the formalities out of the way. Upper left-hand corner. Hashtag fast markets. Hashtag power hour. You know what it is up. At TopStep TV on the X. See some cool trader station setups. See some cool places everyone's trading across the globe. For those that are trading everywhere across the globe, let us know where from in the chat. Shout out to where, Jack? Give us where do you want to give a shout out to? Some random city in a random country. What do you got, Jack?
Yeah, shout out to Bolivia.
Order filled.
Yeah. Bolivia
now? Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka as well. We're going to watch it. El Salvador. Ethiopia. Cool. California.
Big pop.
Whoa.
Big pop.
Woo. Wow. Okay. New highs put here in the Nasdaq. 19,004. Wow. We are. What the hell is that? 19,007. Let's take a look at ES 54.95. We're still cooking the upside. We're seeing about what was that? About a 50-point pop in the ES in this 5-minute candle. Nasdaq just a huge
order
pop
filled.
As well. Easy 100-point pop in. Dow just shot off a cannon. Crude sell going higher as well. Gold selling off. What was that? Not seeing anything. Weller's not coming on Outlook. Huge tape bomb. We'll take a look and see what that was. We'll stay focused right here on the markets. That just absolutely just ripped all the shorts face off right there, and we are right back down. Man, I was just talking about who got short for
some effort long here.
Wow. We are talking
gold tanking right now.
Gold is taking. Guys, catch there, Jay. There's a lot going on right now. We got to stay locked in. 3,300 evens. 3,295 printed in the gold. It just got very thin on the ladder in the ES. Very even thinner on the ladder in the Nasdaq. We were back to looking like the ladder from like 2-3 weeks ago, and we were back to 19,000 in the Nasdaq. Holy moly!
Tried a quick long there in the ES. Got stopped out really quick, but I want to get long this market.
Market in, market out,
something like that. Yep. No, I got in. Got stopped out really quick. Quick down 400, but I'm okay with that. Daily loss limit for the day is more than that, but I want to get long here.
We got the bonds going bid this morning. Dropped about 13 bips since the close in the 10-year. We're back below the happy place, 4.27%.
Thank you, Hooper.
People are liking this news.
Headline. Wall Street Journal.
Right now,
tariffs likely coming down to between 50% and 65%.
Just hitting the wire here.
Yeah. Wow. Those are Elvis looking at selling coming back in.
The Wall Street Journal.
Oof, holy moly, holy moly. 18,000. Sheesh.
Order
We got
filled.
number 5 minutes, and within 10, we are rocking and rolling right now. Expecting
Wow.
headlines throughout the day.
So
what was that tape
there's
down?
a gap that gold has just entered and is barreling through. It goes from 33.1260 all the way down to 32.4290.
I'm long to MES again. 67 quarter.
Quick, Jake.
67 quarter. Long to MES.
67 quarter.
Looking for a test of 5500s here.
67.
Another important level that's roughly in the area here in the ES, roughly meaning we have a lot of range each day.
Yeah.
Look at my charts real quick. We're within shouting. This yellow line right here is the Liberation Day gap that was nearly filled. So this is right after it. So around 55, 68, 55, 70, somewhere around there would be a complete retracement of that.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking for on this trade.
Damn.
More comments coming from Wall Street Journal. White House considering that slashing China tariffs to de-escalate trade war. Going to get some more information on this, a little more deeper information.
Man, we are wide awake right now. 54.71, 54.6. It is very, very thin. Ladder just basically just vanished on us on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just pull all the offers? Is that what it was? Was there actual buying in there as well?
There was some buying in here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
All right, cool. 54.76. Coach J long from 67 quarter. Nasdaq trying to buy it up again here. 19,004. I don't know if they're trying to buy it. They're just pulling offers. It is very, very thin. We got news hitting the wire. Just keep an eye on that gold. What's up, Eddie?
Well, Vicente and Lutnick are back on Powell's Christmas card list. Trump decided not to fire Powell after Vicente and Lutnick raised concerns. It's also coming from the Wall Street Journal. And good morning, Wall Street Journal.
Good morning, Wall Street Journal. Indeed. 73% long ES right now. Average price 54.61. Last trade 54.75. 76 is now trade. Nothing on the tilt in the Nasdaq. We got a number in 3 minutes. This is off to a wild start already. Eddie, got another hot biscuit here. I'm seeing what's this one?
U.S. eyes 35% for items not deemed national security threat. Wall Street Journal.
Just throwing numbers at the wall. I like this. This is going to be a hell of a trade.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Trump can't fire Powell anyway, can he?
I don't think so.
Not really.
Hey,
strange things happen.
Interest. Yeah, they're coming with the hot biscuits here today, folks.
More?
So just heads up.
We got more. Oh, damn, Eddie. Okay, yeah, keep it coming, Eddie. By all means, either. Yeah. What's this one?
Got about minute 30 here on our number two. Boy, I tell you, excitement at its finest.
Wow.
Just I took that off for scratch. I was just going to see if we got some quick continuation there. Again, I want to buy this market. I'm okay losing money buying this market today if this is the news that we're going to keep coming up. Right, Jay?
Let me ask you on that one, Jay. You're long from 67 quarter. We did get up to the 76s.
Yep.
News driven like market like this. Do you really have price? Do you really have a price target, profit target, or is
higher?
Higher. How much higher? I guess. We're 10 points higher.
55.23.
Well, I got to challenge you on that, Jay.
Go ahead.
How can you get how can you have a price target when we just saw the news hit that and pretty much throws everything monkey wrench in all of it? You got a price target until the next headline hits.
Right. So if my thought process is if the headlines are positive, then we trade to technical levels that we have. Right. So the upper technical level that I have right here is 55.23. The reason I'm out of that trade right now is because I'm not seeing the follow through yet. Right. So we see the initial reaction. It's buying to whatever that headline was. I'm not focused too much on what the headline is, but just the reaction to it was positive. We'll see if we push. We do have some orders sitting up here at 5,500 as well.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Good stuff, Jay. Take the profit, Jay.
I have about $100.
Service PMI, they're looking at 52.6. Coming in at 54.4. Manufacturing PMI, they're looking at 49, coming in at 50.7, better than expected. And the composite PMI, looking at 52, coming in at 51.2. Another thing I want to make sure that we are aware of, China's Foreign Minister Wang says that China supports Iran's nuclear talks with the U.S. So watch crude here. I think we might see some movement in crude. Also, that's what I've got. Back to you, Andre.
Awesome. Good stuff. I'll keep an eye on the crude. Last trade there, $63.58 now.
I'm long again from 80. Just looking for some continuation volume here. I'm with micros, taking this with micros. I'm okay taking a couple paper cuts. I'm just looking for this continuation.
Sweet. Let's go. 54.81 trades. We did make a high on that headline at 54.96. Jack, have you been able to see what exactly the tape bomb was? Or if you're locked in, stay locked in. We can look at that later.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a news bomb. I'm sure it was out of those headlines that we read on Financial Juice. So just a run-of-the-mill tape bomb.
Just run-of-the-mill. What does run-of-the-mill mean these days, Jack? What is it?
Andre, did you know we were 88% long here in crude this morning?
Oh, that was like yesterday too, weren't we? Yeah, we got
83 or 84 yesterday.
Yeah. We were long the opening range trade, and that was up there. And for the last 2 months, that's just been a really important thing to notice. When everybody's long crude, you're going to get a pullback.
Interesting. Hogue, question. Inverse correlation between gold and equities, is that still on? I haven't looked at the matrix, but it seems to be the theme last couple. Can we kind of go off of that? Is there something we can perhaps trade off, leader and laggard? Gold goes down, equities go up?
Well, gold has always been, one of the best store of value. So when there's a lot of fear in the market, people are taking money out of stocks and putting it in safer instruments like bonds. Gold has typically been one of the flight to qualities. But I think gold is in a particular situation right now because we just got too long up there. And when you say too long, it's all in the time frames that are
Right.
long. And the shorter time frames, weaker hands, medium time frame traders were finally all in on the long side up there, and it just didn't have anything left. So that's kind of a particular situation that it's in now because I think the general market was too long up there, and now we're starting to see equities seeing some buoyancy. So there's it's a kind of a 1-2 punch on gold right now. So I think we're going to probably see some continuation moves to the downside in gold. Would love to see that three down days in an uptrend and look for an opportunity for buyers to come back in on it after that. But it's not just economics that has created this big thing, this big rally in gold. We've got a lot of foreign banks that have just been buying gold, buying gold, buying gold, buying gold. And it just needs a pullback.
Well, we're getting it right now. We also what's
There we are.
Yes, we are. Take a look at the gold. 3,300, 32.94 last trade in gold. ES pumping higher here. 54.85, about 10 points off the highs there. Nasdaq buyers coming back in 19,074 off that headline. Topped out at 19,112, so about 40 points to go to get back up there. We did have a 73% long tilt in the ES. I believe they were in the money as we continue to pump higher here. Jay, you're still looking for 53.22 upside?
Yep.
522.
Yeah, 55.20. Yeah, 55.22. At 5,500 here, we got about 500 contracts. Not seeing a lot on the books in the Nasdaq at 19,100. I am gonna put in a bid at 74 and 70. My stop is at 64 right now. If we get a pullback to 74, I'm gonna add one, and then I'll add another one at 70. Get stopped out of the full position at 64.
Excellent. All right, gold's still selling off here. Do have a sense speaking top of the hour. We got numbers coming in the top of the hour. About 11
points
minutes.
out the most tariff-sensitive stock in the Mag 7. Amazon is up 7.5%. You want the bull vibes? Tesla is up 3.5%. This is the same Tesla that had earnings yesterday that announced a 71% decrease in net income, which normally wouldn't be good, but the macro news prevails.
Tesla down 44% on the year, something like that. Yikes.
Yeah, they were pumped to unreasonable levels, though.
Yeah. Tesla, yep, Duncan, you get it. All right, little quick breath. We can sneak in a little bit of a breath here. See if we keep pushing higher here. Come on, let's go Tesla's 5,500 for Coach Jay. So he goes about 500 sitting on the offer there.
Yep. Yeah, about 500 sitting up there.
Gold is not done selling off. New lows gold. New lows gold. 32.85. Again, we traded 3,500s yesterday, Hogue? No.
35.
Right?
35.
Yesterday.
09.90.
Gosh.
35.10 was weekly kickoff high.
We're getting down to those prices, Hogue, where we can buy it and hold it for 2 weeks.
Yep.
What is it? What is it on the daily?
Three-day pullback.
Gonna fill this gap.
All right, more. Come on, yes, 54.92. And higher here.
All right, I'm going to cancel those bids for that pullback. At this point, if we pull back that much, I'll just
You're out.
get in if it looks good. Yeah, I want to see us take out this high here. 81 half. My stop is going to go.
Hard to buy high, isn't it, Jay?
It is, but it's only the high until we make new highs.
Higher.
My only mistake was taking that first one with being a little too eager, taking that first one with a mini. I feel like this is going to be a big move, so I wanted to try to take as much advantage of it as possible, but a little too eager with that mini initially.
Speaking of a big move here, Coach Hoop, all-time high in the cattle.
Yeah, is it all-time highs in cattle? Hoop.
All right, I'm out on that. Took $100 there, and we didn't push that high up to 5,500s. I'm out there.
And look at the selling come in.
There would have been my ad right to those 74s, and we bounce right back up. Let's see if this holds.
Let me trade this.
What was your exit price, Jay? If you can...
I got it at 89, Hogue.
Nasdaq.
Thank you.
It's a cool casual 100-point candle right here. Topped out at 19,122 quarter. I'm out at 19,022. Last trade, 19,051. Nasdaq it's thin. Symbol blocker.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, it's understandably so. You're getting
6.86 spread right now.
Trading serious slippage. Hey, 5,100 people watching us all across the globe. And we got 5 minutes for about 7 minutes till the top of the hour. We got the numbers. We got the set speaking. Click like, follow, and subscribe. And click that damn bell upper right hand corner of the YouTube. Click that notify. So you know when Top Steps TV's coming at you live. All right, Eddie.
We kind of bounced right that previous double top from the 15th, and then again on the 14th.
Right off those 70s.
Route. Yeah.
Okay, Eddie, we got about 5, 6, 7 minutes before the number. Right about this time every day, Monday through Friday. We come at you with the tip of the week. Pop quiz in the chat. What is the tip of the week? First one in the chat that gets it. It's a little prize. Tip of the week. We're all watching. All eyes on the hold on, Eddie. Hold on. Let's see who gets it in the chat. Tip of the week.
Tip of the week is when life gives you lemons, demand salt and tequila. That's what I say.
Hold on. Hold on. Close. Everyone's getting close. Good luck. The judges are going to be all over this. Ooh, hey, I think we got one there.
Did we get one?
Bab. I think Bab.
I see one.
Bab.
I got Bab. Anyways, Eddie, go ahead.
Okay. Leverage the power of trends. Yes, it is, folks. That's what it is. And congratulations, Bab. Hey, efficient use of capital. Now, trading allows for better capitalization allocation by avoiding that choppy, crappy, or directionless markets. Bigger moves, bigger rewards. Now, trends often lead to extended price moves, offering the potential for larger profits. And also, simple strategies work best. Trend following strategies can be effective without overly complex indicators or system. Make it easy on yourself. The good old KISS. And back to you, Andre. That is the leverage power of trends.
Yes. All right. Our judges are reviewing the tape. It's under review right now. I think we have a winner. I do believe we think we have a winner. Judges say it is Bab J. Yes, Bab J. I do believe you got it. So we'll reach out to you. You reach out to us, and take care of it. Good job.
The decision has come back from New York. Bad.
Yeah, there you go. That is the final decision. Hogue is the final decision maker there. Also, talks for Hogue becoming next pope. Here, there's a lot of chat out there becoming the next pope. Boots on the ground in the Vatican, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
They need to find a pope that's like maybe 30 years old or something like that. I mean,
I can get a direct line to the future.
Man, would you
get a lot of secrets there?
Yeah. Would you let us know which way equities would go, Hogue, if you did?
As soon as I'm in.
Numbers. Would you let us know what the numbers are going to be before they come out?
As soon as I'm in.
The Vatican knows all.
Once he's pope, he can't be wrong.
Oh, finally. Famously right.
So,
famously right.
Yes, famously.
All right, Roger W. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Look at that. That's something like the Pope outside uncle. He was in the 1300s, though. All right, well. See, we'll try our best here.
The Sun speaking here, top of the hour.
Oh, man, oh, man. What else we got top of the hour, Eddie? We got percent. Then we
New
got
home sales. Yeah,
new home sales.
You sell your new home? There you go. New home sales and coming up at 9:30, half past crude oil inventories.
Gabe in our Slack says, better execution today, y'all. Good shit. Thank you, Gabe. That's in our Slack. You guys couldn't see that. Shout out to Gabe. Great stuff, Gabe. Last couple of weeks, holding it down. James Harden is back, everybody. Back from Japan, man.
Gabe did a great job. JD did a great job.
Order filled.
James. It's like walking outside with one shoe on.
Hey, things back. This feels better now. All right, how's the countdown? Let's change that board. The overlay is not. House count is flat, I do believe, and we will get updated. Yep.
You want to get long this again?
Yeah, we got number 2.
As in 2 minutes.
Yep.
And again, Jack,
Bezant
bullish, correct? Bezant bullish.
Well, that has been the case. Let's see. Yeah, sure. My mother-in-law's bringing me coffee. That's always a pleasure.
Thank you, mother-in-law. Would you like to say hello?
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you, Annette. Or Annette. You don't call her mom, you call her Annette?
I think that's what most people do, right?
I call my mother-in-law Ma.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You're Italian, though.
Hey, bada bing, bada boom.
Bada boom, hey, 19,000. Oh, these tape bombs are hitting us already. 50-50 on the tilt.
No.
Also, hey, I do believe, it's VIP check-in season. You already know. Stay tuned. Might be having another one coming everyone's way. Season 2 is coming to a conclusion. Season 3, getting ready. So VIP check-in. Another one come today. Not gonna tell you when, but it is coming. 30 seconds.
Yes, my mother-in-law does live in Cicero.
Sharing with Brad, when is the VIP drawing? Oh, down the road. We gotta get all the check-ins first. More time to check in, the better chance you have of being selected, being drafted to Season 3. VIP TopStep. You could be a lunatic.
20 seconds.
Jay.
Oh, boy.
26 spread here in the Nasdaq right now.
Is it really?
Looks are super thin.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
All right, new home sales are looking at around 685,000 prior to 676, coming out here in about 5 seconds. And what's on the bun? Going to find out here in a second here. Coming out big, much higher, 724,000 versus the 685. New home sales change month over month. They were looking at 1.3, 7.4%. These are big, folks. So once again, your new home sales, they were looking at 685,000, coming in at 724,000. Home sales change, they were looking at 1.3%. Big. 7.4 is the actual. Back to you, Andre.
Yeah, Eddie, that month over month, that is a big, much better than expected. 7.4% versus 1.3% expected. Huge beat there. U.S. new home sales change month over month. Whereas percent scheduled to speak now, any moment.
That is a big jump.
Yeah, it is. That's a big. Oh, look, gold not done. New lows gold.
It's down.
Do you want to listen to Bassett in the background? I think they have a link there.
We got it. We probably should. He's speaking of tariffs, no? That's.
We pushed up into that order at 5,500 and didn't trade one contract of it. It's still sitting there at 556. Feels like we're just kind of building momentum to take this out on a comment.
Gold down and to the right. Down and to the right.
Very careful trading the gold, the Nasdaq especially right now.
New lows gold. Gold is just getting absolutely pummeled right now. 32.74 last trade.
I know a lot of people say you can't trade the news. All I'm saying is that there's going to be some ripper candles probably while
for sure.
Speaking.
For sure.
So you use that as you may.
Sure. Jack, what'd you say 10-year yield is?
Around 4.3, so that's some relief there.
Okay. New lows gold.
Yeah, Jack, I 100% agree with you. I think this is definitely not the environment to go with a mental stop. Because like Mike Tyson says, right, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That candle is going to punch somebody in the face when it happens.
Oh my goodness.
So just have an idea of where you want to get out if you're going to trade this right now. I'm going to stay patient. I have an idea of where I want to get into this, but I wouldn't be surprised at a little bit of a flush first before we get there. But again, my plan is to get long until it changes. Gold is continuing to sell.
Gold is just getting massively pummeled. 32.71. We're down to about $230, $240 from yesterday. Again, Besant. I don't know how to pronounce it just yet.
I've heard both.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
Besant.
That's Bessie.
Besant.
I think Besant. Besant. I don't know.
Sounds like peasant. I'd go with Besant.
Good question.
All right, I might go with Besant. 54.76, 54.77 last trade. ES, very, very thin on the ladder. The only thing with real direction right now is gold, as we've been saying, just getting absolutely pummeled. 32.71. We are waiting for those comments to come out of the Treasury Secretary. Starting to see.
It's an honor to be here.
Oh, cool.
In the final months of World War II, Western leaders convened the greatest economic minds of their generation.
Oh, boy.
Their task? To build a new financial system. At a quiet resort high up in the mountains of New Hampshire, they laid the foundation for Pax Americana. The architects of Bretton Woods recognized that a global economy required global coordination. To encourage that coordination, they created the IMF and the World Bank. These twin institutions were born after a period of intense geopolitical and economic volatility. The purpose of the IMF and the World Bank was to better align national interests with international order, thereby bringing stability to an unstable world. In short, their purpose was to restore and preserve balance. This remains the purpose of the Bretton Woods institutions. Yet everywhere we look across the international system today, we see imbalance. The good news, it doesn't have to be this way.
Just start going into it.
My goal this morning is to outline a blueprint to restore equilibrium to the global financial system and the institutions designed to uphold it. I've spent the bulk of my career from the outside looking in on financial policy circles. Now I am on the inside looking out. I am eager to work with each of you to restore order to the international system. To achieve this, however, we must first reconstruct the IMF and World Bank reconnect the IMF and the World Bank with their founding missions. The IMF and World Bank have enduring value. But mission creep has knocked these institutions off course. We must
Treasury Secretary Besant
to ensure the
speaking on tariffs right now. Talking to the world right now, Michael. What's up, man?
Bringing balance back to global finance will require clear-eyed leadership from the IMF and World Bank. This morning, I will explain how they can provide that leadership to build safer, stronger, and more prosperous economies all around the world. I wish to invite my international counterparts to join us in working toward these goals. On this point, I wish to be clear. America first does not mean America alone. To the contrary, it is a call for deeper collaboration and mutual respect among trade partners. Far from stepping back, America First seeks to expand U.S. leadership in international institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. By embracing a stronger leadership role, America First seeks to restore fairness to the international economic system. Nowhere is the imbalance I mentioned earlier more obvious than in the world of trade. That's why the United States is taking action now to rebalance global commerce. For decades, successive administrations relied on faulty assumptions that our trading partners would implement policies that would drive a balanced global economy. Instead, we face the stark reality of large and persistent U.S. deficits as a result of an unfair trading system. Intentional policy choices by other countries have hollowed out America's manufacturing sector and undermined our critical supply chains, putting our national and economic security at risk. President Trump has taken strong actions to address these imbalances and the negative impacts they have on Americans. This status quo of large and persistent imbalances is not sustainable. It is not sustainable for the United States, and ultimately, it is not sustainable for other economies. Now, I know sustainability is a popular term around here, but I'm not talking about climate change or carbon footprints. I'm talking about economic and financial stability, the kind of sustainability that raises standards of living and keeps markets afloat. International financial institutions must be singularly focused on upholding this kind of sustainability if they are to succeed in their missions. In response to President Trump's tariff announcements, more than 100 countries have approached us, wanting to help rebalance global trade.
15 approached me
These
last night.
countries have responded openly and positively to the President's actions to create a more balanced international system. We are engaged in meaningful discussions and look forward to talking with others. China, in particular, is in need of a rebalancing. Recent data shows the Chinese economy tilting even further away from consumption toward manufacturing. China's economic system, with growth driven by manufacturing exports, will continue to create even more serious imbalances with its trading partners if the status quo is allowed to continue. China's current economic model is built on exporting its way out of its economic troubles. It's an unsustainable model that is not only harming China, but the entire world. China needs to change. The country knows it needs to change. Everyone knows it needs to change, and we want to help it change because we need rebalancing too. China can start by moving its economy away from export overcapacity and towards supporting its own consumers and domestic demand. Such a shift would help with global rebalancing that the world desperately needs. Of course, trade is not the only factor in broader global economic imbalances. The persistent over-reliance on the United States for demand is resulting in an ever more unbalanced global economy. Some countries' policies encourage excess savings, which holds back private sector-led growth. Others keep wages artificially depressed, which also suppresses growth. These practices contribute to global dependence on U.S. demand to spur growth. They also lead to a global economy that is weaker and more vulnerable than it should be. In Europe, former ECB President Mario Draghi has identified several sources of stagnation, and he has outlined several recommendations to get the European economy back on the right track. European countries would do well to take his recommendations to heart. Europe has already taken some long overdue initial steps that I applaud. These steps create a new source of global demand and also involve Europe stepping up on the security front. I believe global economic relationships should come to reflect security partners.
Crude getting hammered right now. Crude new low, $60.
Are more likely to have compatible economies, structured
Crude down a buck.
for
Crude down a buck
mutually beneficial trade. If the United States continues offering security guarantees and open markets, then our allies must step up with stronger commitments to shared defense. The initial actions from Europe on increased fiscal and defense spending are proof that the Trump administration's policies are indeed working. The Trump administration and the U.S. Treasury are committed to maintaining and expanding U.S. economic leadership in the world. This is especially true at the international financial institutions. The IMF and World Bank serve critical roles in the international system, and the Trump administration is eager to work with them so long as they can stay true to their missions. And under the status quo, they are falling short. The Bretton Woods institutions must step back from their sprawling and unfocused agendas, which have stifled their ability to deliver on their core mandates. Going forward, the Trump administration will leverage U.S. leadership and influence at these institutions and push them to accomplish their very important mandates. The United States will also demand that the management and staffs of these institutions be accountable for demonstrating real progress. I invite all of you to join us in working to refocus these institutions on their core missions. It is in our collective interest to do so. The IMF. First, we must make the IMF again. The IMF's mission is to promote international monetary cooperation, facilitate the balanced growth of international trade, encourage economic growth, and discourage harmful policies like competitive exchange rate depreciation. These are crucially important functions to support the U.S. and global economies. Instead, the IMF has suffered from mission creep. The IMF was once unwavering in its mission of promoting global monetary cooperation and financial stability. Now it devotes disproportionate time and resources to work on climate change, gender, and social issues. These issues are not
down
the IMF's
$2, down
mission.
$2 in crude.
And the IMF's focus in these areas is crowding out its work on critical macroeconomic issues. The IMF must be a brutal truth teller and not just to some members. Today,
what is it, Eddie? Quickly, what's the open news?
The IMF
More output?
has been whistling past the graveyard. Its 2024 external sector report was entitled Imbalances Receding. This Pollyannish outlook is symptomatic of an institution more dedicated to preserving the status quo than answering the hard questions. Here in the United States, we know we need to get our fiscal house in order. The last administration ran up the largest peacetime deficit in our nation's history. The current administration is committed to fixing this. We are open to critique, but we will not abide the IMF failing to critique the countries that most need it, principally surplus countries. In line with its core mandate, the IMF needs to call out countries like China that have pursued globally distorted policies and opaque currency practices for many decades. I also expect the IMF to call out unsustainable lending practices by certain creditors.
Sean, I got
the IMF should push more proactively.
It wasn't going
bilateral lenders to come to the table early to work with borrower countries to minimize periods of debt distress. The IMF must refocus its lending on addressing balance of payment problems, and its lending should be temporary. When done responsibly, IMF lending is at the very core of its contribution to the global economy. When markets fail, the IMF steps in and makes resources available. In exchange, countries implement economic reforms to resolve their balance of payments issues and support economic growth. The reforms undertaken during these programs are some of the IMF's most important contributions to a strong, sustainable, and balanced global economy. Argentina is a fitting example. I was in Argentina earlier this month to demonstrate the United States' support for the IMF efforts to help the country reset financially. Argentina deserves the IMF support because the country is making real progress toward meeting financial benchmarks. But not every country is so deserving. The IMF must hold countries accountable for implementing economic reforms, and sometimes the IMF needs to say no. The organization has no obligation to lend to countries that fail to implement reforms. Economic stability and growth should be the markers of the IMF's success, not how much money the institution lends out.
We're selling coming in equities.
World Bank. Like the IMF, the World
We're short
Bank
one
must
now.
be made fit for purpose.
Good job, Jack.
The
Nice
World
to hold
Bank
that.
Group helps developing countries grow their economies, reduce
I stopped
poverty,
with above the
increase
highs.
private
I don't
investment
know why.
support, private
Did you manually
sector
cut
job
it?
creation, and reduce
Manually.
dependence on foreign aid.
We have
It
more opportunity
offers
here. It's not enough.
transparent and affordable long-term financing for countries to invest in their own development priorities. The bank, along with the fund, provides extensive technical support to promote debt sustainability among low-income countries, which empowers those countries to stand up to coercive and opaque lending terms
Could get a
from
rip when
other
he stops
creditors.
talking.
These
Well,
core
you
functions
first
of the
said-
World Bank complement the Trump administration's efforts to foster safer, stronger, and more prosperous economies in the United States and the world. But the bank, like the IMF, has strayed in certain respects from its initial mission. The bank should no longer expect blank checks for vapid, buzzword-centric marketing accompanied by half-hearted commitments to reform. As the bank returns to its core mission, it must use its resources as efficiently and effectively as possible, and it must do so in ways that demonstrate tangible values for all member countries. The bank can use its resources more efficiently now by focusing on increasing energy access. Business leaders the world over identify unreliable power supply as one of the primary impediments to investment. The World Bank and African Development Bank's joint Mission 300 initiative to expand energy access to 300 million more people in Africa is a welcome effort. But the World Bank must respond to countries' energy priorities and needs and focus on dependable technologies that can sustain economic growth rather than seek to meet distortionary climate finance targets. We applaud the recent announcement that the World Bank will seek to remove prohibitions on support for nuclear energy, which could revolutionize energy supply for many emerging markets. We encourage the bank to go further in giving countries access to all technologies that can provide affordable baseload generation. The World Bank must be tech neutral and prioritize affordability in energy investment. In most cases, this means investing in gas and other fossil fuel-based energy production. In other cases, this may mean investing in renewable energy coupled with systems to help manage the intermittency of wind and solar.
Treasury Secretary
The history of
speaking.
humanity teaches a simple lesson. Energy abundance sparks economic abundance. That's why the bank should encourage an all-of-the-above approach to energy development. Such an approach will make World Bank financing more effective, and it will reconnect the bank to its core mission of economic growth and poverty alleviation. In addition to increasing energy access, the World Bank can use its resources more effectively by starting to apply its graduation policy. This would allow the bank to focus on lending
Johnson, this
to
guy's
poorer,
dry.
less
Welcome to watching
worthy countries.
these type of folks.
This is
The
where
last
World Bank
10
support
years I've been
makes the
watching
biggest difference
Federal Reserve
for
people,
poverty and growth.
Treasury people.
Instead, the World
Exciting.
Bank continues to lend every year to countries that have met the criteria to graduate from World Bank borrowing. There is no justification for this continued lending. It siphons off resources from higher priorities and crowds out the development
My
of
right
private
hand's getting
markets.
pretty tired.
It also disincentivizes countries' efforts to move away from dependency on the World Bank and toward job-rich, private sector-led growth. Going forward, the bank must set firm graduation timelines for countries that have long since met the graduation criteria. Treating China, the second largest country in the world, as a developing country is absurd. While it has been at the expense of many Western markets, China's rise has been rapid and impressive.
Anything from China?
If China wants to play a role in the global economy commensurate with its actual importance, then the country
That was an offer
needs to
5467
graduate
yes.
up. We welcome that.
Wow,
The
flash
World
down
Bank
60.
should also implement transparent procurement policies based on best value. It must help countries move away from procurement approaches that prioritize only the lowest cost bids.
Crude, 81%.
Such
Order
procurement
filled.
policies reward distorted
Does he happen
and
now?
subsidized industrial policies that undermine development. They may also stifle the
Talking to
private
the algos.
sector and incentivize
I know.
corruption and collusion.
I gotta use these-
and
I gotta use
result
these
in
keywords
higher
here. Hold on, let me finish this off.
costs. Procurement policies based on best value are better from both an efficiency and development perspective, and their robust implementation will benefit the bank and its shareholders. Related to the subject, I wish to send a strong, and I emphasize strong message about procurement policies as regards Ukraine.
Thousands back, 69
No
yours.
one who financed or supplied the Russian war machine
Sure is.
will be eligible for
Phil.
funds earmarked
Phil,
for
wow.
Ukraine's reconstruction.
Wow.
No one. To conclude, I invite our allies to work with us as we
Full funds
rebalance
and
the
crude
international
money.
financial
Delay.
system.
We might be a little
refocus
bit
the
of a delay in the
IMF
speech,
and
you might
World
be
Bank on their founding charters. America
Right.
First means we are doubling down on our engagement
getting the feed,
with
we
the
don't have to
international
delay-
economic
the delay
system,
on the feed that we're
including
getting.
at the IMF and the World Bank. A more sustainable economic system
trying to fit in
will
all
be
the
one
keywords for
that
the
better
others.
serves the interests of the United States and all the other participants in the system. We look forward to working with all of you in this endeavor. Thank you.
Yup.
Yeah, that's what it was. It did pop on a stop.
Yep. Nice call. All right. Good stuff there. That was Treasury Secretary 8% speaking. We saw what big mover was. We got another 1,000 lot here. ES upside 54.79 offered 1,000 times ES.
1,000 times yes. Alfie, great job locking up your XFA. 11 bills.
What's up,
11
Michael? We are
hands.
rocking and rolling. We are seeing some headlines flying around. 1,000 lots getting filled on the ES ladder, Nasdaq ladder, very, very thin. We've got a couple thousand lot offers coming in. What was the first one, Jay? 67, 69, somewhere around there?
69s.
69s. That was filled. Then we got another one, 79.
Yep.
See it?
I'm gonna get long 2 micros again.
Okay.
Long from
I'm gonna
77.
I'm gonna get short a 5 guy in front of it. Play the old school. Nope.
Away from 5 minutes.
Moved up to
remaining.
80.
Yeah, EIA in
Stop
5
at
minutes.
80.
Moved up to 80. Yes, it did. All right, cool. MP is in. We got.
Nope.
Nope.
In out.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
out.
got
I had my stop right above it and they pulled it. Got hit.
Okay. 54.80 off of
Double
1,000
lean.
times. Ooh.
Whoa.
Filled.
It's ripping through these
Filled.
big volume.
Was
Yeah,
it all
they're
filled
not-
last time?
Yeah,
Oh,
all filled. They're not causing any hesitation with these offers here.
No, they're not.
No.
No, they are not. We
Take
gotta
'em.
wait. We gotta wait.
We got 1,000 at 79. Sold. 1,000 at 80. Sold.
Order filled.
Filled. We are cooking the
That means
upside.
there's an aggressive buyer.
Yes.
How's it going? Is 54.85 last trade in the ES. Take a look at the Nasdaq, 19,100. The big mover, Eddie, was we saw crude fall out of the bed about down about $1.50 on was OPEC. Talking about increasing supply coming to the bottom of the hour here.
What was that pop? Crude.
He was done talking. Oh, sorry.
That was
That's
just
what
it,
was
huh?
happening.
Yeah, OPEC members approved another accelerated oil output increase for June. That's why we saw it.
We got flat. We made 156 on that trade on 3 micros.
Order
2 in
filled.
profit. The last one got stopped out at the end there at break
Order
even,
filled.
and now we go back to the game.
Nice
Sounds
short
good.
trade.
JD, come on in here. We got some payouts and P&Ls. Let's show the people. We saw a huge number yesterday. Someone made like 40 G's, I believe. JD, come on in here. Bottom of the hour coming in. Come on in, JD. Happy
You are?
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It is indeed
Order
Wednesday. Yeah, you're
filled.
right. We got a big P&L from Kevin G. Number 1 on the big board. Pulled 40 grand out of the Nasdaq yesterday.
Order
Big day for
filled.
Kevin G, locking in that number 1 spot on the big board too.
Kevin G, the one that had
Mark T,
400 in their
yeah,
account.
a huge payout a couple weeks ago. And,
Started with like 500, took like 400 out of his account or something. What's his total payout?
Order
Do
filled.
you have it, including this one?
I can pull it
roughly?
up real quick.
And then
Total.
is he
total
going
payouts.
to come on?
Order filled.
I'm sure we've reached out to him. I've got total payouts for the year at about $506,000. Quite a bit.
Dang,
Wow.
half a million is
Half a million. That's
Good
pro
trading. That's a big day. Top 3.
Already here. EIA
yeah.
gas inventory. Crude oil inventories.
Thank you, Eddie. Mark T, trade in the ES, NQ, and MNQ. Pulled 3 grand out of the S&P, 13,085 out of the micro Nasdaq, and 15,700 out of the mini Nasdaq. Total profit $31,854 for Mark. James trading the NQ, 30,595. Samara also trading the NQ, 16,906. And Peter L trading the S&P, 11,160. Those are some huge numbers coming from our Life Under Traders yesterday. Big days all around. Nice job.
Pick that up 1 second. Is anybody here in chat? Any of these guys? And don't say it's me, blah, blah, blah. If it is you, jump in here. James C., you here? You almost put up 31 grand. That is a sick day. Mark T., 31, almost 32. That is my best day ever is 33. And I traded for years.
I've never,
This is really, really cool to see. So you guys are banging out big days. You're here.
Oh.
Say hi.
Big days in the live markets too.
Yep. Real profits, real trades.
Want to see some more?
Yeah.
Some more impressive numbers here. Take a look at this. Payouts. Todd S. putting $66,000 in his pocket. Trading in this live account for about 35 days now, if I'm not mistaken. I looked at the trade report about a half hour ago. 35 days in the live funded account, $65,000, almost $66,000 in payouts yesterday for Todd. Ezra at 20,000, Anna 12,000, Fang 11,000, and Johnny D another 11,000.
Got our
What's up,
EIA
Eddie?
crude number coming out at 244,000. They were looking at 1.5 million. So a big difference here in our crude oil inventories. Back to you guys.
Not even close. Go ahead, JD. Look at those payouts. Johnny D. Hot at 66 large,
Johnny D.
man.
That's a pretty nice day. Putting 66 grand in your pocket. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Real traders taking real money to the real life markets.
Damn right.
Is it 6 bands they call it?
Oof, this again.
Oh, here we go, Johnny. Wow.
Hey, hands will make a dance. 54.88 last trade in the ES. 19,100 last trade in the Nasdaq. And crude falling out of bed. Saw gold going down to the right. Again, VIP check-in coming in shortly. Hey, Macro's in the house. Macro, where you been? My wife's boyfriend says hello. I haven't seen you in a minute, Macro.
Oh my
Good to have you
gosh.
back. I need to come
My
back.
wife's boyfriend says, oh, yeah, I remember this guy.
Macro's in the house. It's been too long. Good to see you. Yes.
I did have some bids to add to this long here at 80 in the orders and 78.
Mhm.
Just
Where'd
looking
you
at
get long
push
from?
through 50, 77.
Andre, I think his
Yeah.
wife's boyfriend took away YouTube privileges.
Oh, is that what it was? I don't blame. I don't blame.
Yeah,
it.
that's what it
Yeah, I don't blame it. My wife's boyfriend says, "Oh, hey, we got Nasdaq pushing higher here. Yes, they want to follow." My wife's boyfriend says hello. Well, tell him I say hello as well, Macro. Got those 1,000 lots. Those things just got filled, gobbled up, lifting offers to the upside, up, and away we go. Again, VIP check-in for season 3, right around
Short
the
of
corner.
500 and 5,500 in the S&Ps.
Okay.
Right at the
Yeah.
high.
Start spreading the word. Spread the word. It's coming.
Sinatra says, right?
Yeah. All right, Percent is doing a Q&A. I'm seeing in the chat. Can we confirm that? Oh, it's doing a Q&A. We see any headlines hitting here? Let's see what they say there.
Somebody just offered 521 at 92 in the orders in S&P.
Yep.
Keep filling
Okay. See some size on the offers. MP. What do you see this? MP, what do you see this? Oh, we got it. Look at this. 500 lot. And then I got a 400 lot above that. We got some size coming up. Size is back, MP.
Player
Look at that. Look at this.
I just for this long, I just want to see buyers continue to be aggressive, right? They're throwing more size out here, so it's looking like somebody needs to sell, especially throwing out more size like that. So for my long, I don't want to see them chase.
Boom, filled.
Price lower. Yep, filled.
500 in a swoop. Last trade 54.91. This is awesome. This is amazing. See 54.93 in the orders offered 400 times.
The
Did you
500
see a
up to
couple of big bids come in there just then and get scooped up?
Saw that.
We saw it a little bit earlier, Hogue, in the 60s. I think it was 62 in
Filled.
orders. Yep, another one filled.
Yeah.
Are you trying to lean on it, MP?
I was, but I'm not.
Yeah, they're just gobbling it up right now. 54.95. Last year we got 500 offered 5,500.
Canceling my ads and moving my stock into profit. Because this 5,500 was a major rejection area. Thanks.
Are you still in, Michael, or are you out?
No, I I was leaning on it.
All right, cool.
It's gobbling the size up pretty on the offer. Pretty
Got 500 here.
The 500. They just keep coming in too. These they're not playing games. This is amazing. Paper is back. 54. 698, Michael. 698.
Luis Perez says we should play Grateful Dead for background music.
Where's our background music?
They're gonna sue us.
Well, Michael, I'm glad you asked, so I can appease the people in the back. We're going to play some background music, and chat, I want to get a poll going. We're going to play it. You let us know if you love it, if you hate it. Just like the Teen Choice Awards, we're putting the power in your hands. So we're going to start it up.
15 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You got to let it absorb.
Yeah, feel it in. Soak it in. Let it move through your body.
That's a quiet. Even though that I lost a winning trade. So I'm not bearish in this market. I'm bullish, looking for continuation. As long as we are above 18,985, we'll keep trying to make new highs until then.
All right.
Areas of interest to buy. Area of interest is 19,088 around this area. Yeah, but I'm not taking this as well because I prefer 19,000 as demand area of this whole move. 19,000. So I will get much cheaper long position.
Yesterday highs holding up, Hoagland.